Good afternoon. Welcome to the March 24th Board of Education meeting. Justin, can you please take attendance?
Sure. Joe Abdallah. Here. Greg Kava. Victoria Salon. Stephanie Kolnick. Angela Machirulo. Alex McNaughton. Here. Justin Onley here. Jen Pody.
Here.
Jane Sargent. Pete Tagley. Mary Weber. And Christine Weidig.
Can take a moment for public comment on agenda items. Okay. Moving on, I am leaving early this evening because I have another meeting I need to attend. So I'm going to ask for a motion to move new business to after the consent agenda. And then when I leave, Angela will take over.
Hey, Jennifer.
Oh.
I got to the raised hand for public comment a little late.
Okay. Go ahead, John.
John Boniuto, Washington. I would be remiss if I didn't congratulate the boys basketball team for winning the first ever Chippewa state title. So I'd like to speak to the budget. 2 meetings ago on March 10th during public budget hearing, a singular gentleman delivered comments regarding Region 12 taxpayers subsidizing out-of-district student costs, as well as constructive criticism surrounding the out-of-district tuitions charged. These are questions that many people have repeatedly asked since the lead up to the Ag Science School proposal in 2015 as a solution to keep Chippewa up and running. Unfortunately, and quite frankly, this fifth facility has done nothing to increase the 3 elementary school populations. So tonight I ask a similar question involving filling empty seats on the plane at no additional cost, or rather subsidizing spending to keep Region 12 afloat. Here are some statistics from the Region 12 site concerning this year's budget. So there has been a 15.63 5-year school budget increase from 2020, 2021 to 2025-26. A 6% increase in the past 2 years, orchestrated by the interim superintendent. In 2020, the total in-district population was 560 students. Today remains flat at a projected 558. Over that same time period, the out-of-district population has grown to 240 students, with a combined total Region 12 population projected at 798 students. This means that almost 30% of the student population resides somewhere other than Bridgewater, Roxbury, and Washington. In the proposed 25-26 budget, here are some of the item drivers directly associated with the increase in the out-of-district populations. Spending for additional paras, interventionists, and substitutes has greatly increased. A full-time social worker has been added for $81,458. I'm not certain how this region got along for 53 years without one. Technology increased 31%, printing and electronics up 29.6%, custodial up 11.5%, textbooks up 26.91%. How much of this aggregate is needed to support out-of-district students? Ag Science budget is up 19.24%. Will ag tuition revenue increase enough to cover this jump, or will the region's taxpayers be subsidizing this almost 20% increase? With a greater portion of an ag student's day spent in the core curriculum, certainly there are additional costs associated with their mainstream education. Sherman sends about 30 5 students, and the last time it was published, pays around 15,000 per student, much less with their ag students. And under 1/2 of our cost per student, even when using the state's cost per student formula. An unprecedented total staff salary increase of 4.585%, with superintendent's salary set at 283,000. Perhaps the highest superintendent salary in Litchfield County.
Sorry, John, just one more second. I'm just going to give you 3 more minutes because you've been speaking for 5 and I just want to be able to keep
I'm not
it.
gonna take 3. I'm
Typically
not
should be
gonna-
3 minutes.
I'm gonna take 1 more minute.
Okay.
Consider the 25-26 student population of 798 to Peter Prouda's 2034 future projection of 810, a whopping 12 student increase.
Mhm.
Try as we might, it appears that in-district plain seat reservations are dwindling, and a mere 12 student increase in 10 years appears to be a mediocre windfall. When one considers the past 5 years' compounded annual budget trajectory, at this pace, Region 12 will double its budget in 20 years. Thank you.
Thank you. So as I was saying before, I want to make a motion to move the new business to be after the consent agenda. So can I have a motion, please? Second, all in favor? Anyone opposed? Thank you. So moving on to the consent agenda, has everybody looked at it? Are there any changes? Anybody? Okay. We will move on. Thank you. Moving on to new business to discuss the 2025-26 budget. First, we are going to discuss any questions that we may have before we move on to the motion, 2 motions. So is there anybody that would like to say anything about the current budget? No further discussion? Mary?
I would just like to thank, both Lori and Nicole, because it's a fabulous budget. And I can see no reason why anybody should object to it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. I think as we look at a budget from year to year, and obviously it ebbs and flows and changes from year to year, and I think that we can project about what we think the future is going to hold, but I'm just going to work in the present moment right now. And I think that the budget that we have in front of us is something that is a smart, thoughtful budget. And I think that the board collectively is working forward to do a lot of hard work and to make decisions. I think that with our elementary school committee and with a lot of the other work that's being done, I think we will continue to move forward with a lot of positivity and thoughtfulness. So thank you. So moving on to motion to set and approve the school budget, district's budget for the 25-26 year in the amount of $28,248,850,000. Sorry, my glasses are not. I didn't see that. Is that a 2.44% increase over this year's budget? Can I have a second? Thank you. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Great. Motion passes. See if this looks better. Next motion to set an annual district meeting date for May 5th, 2025, and a possible referendum date for May 6th, 2025. I have a motion. Second? Vicky, second. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Moving on to reports and recognition, board chairperson's report. Take that as our board chairman had to leave. Superintendent's report.
Okay, thank you. And also I'd like to congratulate the boys basketball. And I know we're going to be celebrating them at a future meeting and some of our other teams as well. They did an outstanding job, had a great season. I know you just came from the party, correct? Pizza party. So we will be recognizing them soon. I know that I had sent in my Sunday highlights information from the federal government regarding the Department of Education. I know there are a lot of questions and uncertainties, and it even came up at some of our meetings that Nicole and I had with boards of finance. So there were 2 letters in there. I hope you had a chance to review them. So at least it does, for now, give us some plan that they will be funding a lot of those areas that are important to schools. I did get this afterward. I wanted to pass it out. This is just a statement from CAPS, which is the superintendent's group. It's just a position statement that's saying they're going to advocate as best they can always for students and to continue to work with the State Department of Education in doing that. So I wanted you to just have that. It did go out publicly as well, but I wanted you to have a chance to read that because I didn't send it to you. We also had some appointments. Sandra House, a paraeducator, a new paraeducator at WPS. Ken Seeger, the JV softball coach at Chippewa Valley. And we also have 2 field trip notifications. One is to New York City to United Nations, and that is for grade 12 students on April 2nd. And the Bronx Zoo trip for 6th graders on June 4th. That is it for my.
Treasurer's report, Alex.
Not a lot has happened since last week. I called Nicole today. She said the ship is still on course. And the F&O meeting, we'll pass on that too, because we haven't had a meeting since the 3rd of the month.
Microscience, Mary.
I have a little bit more to report than I normally do. We had a meeting on March 10th and we had a review of the ag data, and some of the things that we found out was we have classes, the class size range from 15 in a class to 6 in a class. And sending school data, I just wanted to read to you that this is the total that we have in the agri-science program from each town. Bethel has 6 students, Brookfield 7, Danbury 35, New Fairfield 15, New Milford 29, Gaylordsville has 1, Newtown has 13, Sherman has 13, and Chippewa has 47 for 166. That's I thought that was information that you would like to hear. We also discussed we had a discussion regarding the reorganization of the Ag Advisory Committee, which we all talked to you about before, to make it more productive and to increase professional connections with the community and to make it more positive. And we also discussed, should we have bylaws? We also have a continuing conversation about fundraising, but that's about it. Thank you.
Curriculum and education. Just
We just had a meeting, like 30 minutes ago it ended. So bunch of stuff. So Chris Dennis, social studies teacher, came and gave us an overview of the 8th grade textbook selection. It's very heavy. There's a lot of stuff in here. So for the next meeting, we'll have to put this on the agenda just so we can approve it. Then we spent the rest of the time with Emily Rue and Emily Judd giving us an update on the reading program. So a couple of quick things. It's working very well. What they're finding is that it's combines the program that we use combines well with UFly and Heggerty. So that would be pre-K 1 and 2. Then the other positive thing is that the ARC program does a really good job at filling in the gaps where students' knowledge may be lacking. So as an example, a third grader may be missing a foundational skill that's usually taught in first grade. So this program makes it very easy for the teacher to identify that skill and then help the student get that deficiency corrected. And it also works in the opposite way. If you have a student who is really moving, reading at a high level, they're also able to be given extra reading instruction. The rest of the meeting, we were able to look at some samples that the kindergarten through 5th grade had already worked on, and it was so much fun that we decided that we should have a writing showcase, kind of like we have an art showcase here. I mean, the work that these teachers are doing is phenomenal. And this program seems to be absolutely amazing. And then to back that up, we've got some numbers. So here from Ms. Snowden, we have data that shows the growth for all students for IRLA. What does that stand for? So that is growing up 0.66 years of average growth per student. Dibbles, growth in every subtest at every grade, average growth of 17.5 points. And for our STAR testing, the average percentile rank grew from 4 to 8 points, which stays consistent in the percentile rank. So basically it means we're doing very well.
Okay, thank you. At Advance, Joe.
The latest March meeting, we received an updated budget for the report between October and February, which recorded a $1.6 million loss, which is typical for the current climate. Those increases were in food service, special education, and personnel services. There was also an improvement in March with a gain of 350,000, and 17 programs were operating at a positive balance. We were also given a slide of the budget strategies they were looking to accomplish in the 25-26 year, which will unfortunately be possibly increasing health insurance deductibles and hopefully securing more funding for the college career accelerator program, and also cut some losses at their workspace location. The new budget will be approved in our May in-person meeting, and also our executive director attended the state hearings this morning and made a few statements and basically concurred with everyone that knows that the current administration changes are obviously going to implement new program, new direction and programs and funding. And that's all I have.
The negotiations, Greg is not here. Skip over Alex for finance. Alex would say you have nothing, and policy committee.
Nothing new. Our next meeting is April 28th.
Strategic long-range planning, Jen, probably not here. Old business. Anyone? Okay, I have a little bit of old business. So last year, we floated and talked about the Bridgewater Fair. And 2 days ago, the vendor person at the fair reached out and asked if we wanted a booth for the region. So I told her that I would bring it up. I sent an email to Jen and to Don, but I thought we could all just maybe start thinking about it for a future meeting. But the fair is obviously coming up in August, so we do have a little bit of time. Ag has a booth, but this would more be kind of a Region 12 booth to promote the region to all of the visitors that come from outside of the region. And we could give out pamphlets and pencils and whatever else we have. And then I thought that we could even think about maybe each of the classes using it as a fundraiser because we would staff it with students and adults, obviously. But if, say, the sophomore class wanted to sell, I don't know, candles or whatever they sell, that it's something that we should think about. And I think I said there's no charge to us for it. It's something we should probably think about for a future meeting. And Don was going to reach out to the class advisors and see if they had any. And Yukon Girls Play Date, we have a motion to adjourn. That's all we have. Great. Motion? All right, we're adjourned.